What is going on, guys? This is Purgatory and welcome to a brand new video. In today's video we're going to be highlighting a little bit of a challenge I've been doing. Rampart low, down.
Yep. Forgot it was Valkyrie.
Guess the last guy was AFK.
been the fucking zombie since the start.
I'm going.
That sounds like a you problem. Okay.
Oh.
No, you don't go first.
Oh. Oh my god.
Read again.
That aim. Already oh no.
I just don't realize if Will becomes a zombie.
See you, Kevin.
We just got
Jesus.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh my god.
David, this is
Hey.
what happens when you play too much multiplayer.
This is your brain on drugs. He's too cracked, man.
All right. I'll be fair. All right, wait, no, I got this. Hold on. Let me turn up my
David
DPI.
plays a shit ton of Halo
All right,
multiplayer.
let me turn up my DPI. All right, how's that? Is that good?
Oh my god.
I can't. Oh, this is gonna
He's
suck.
looking forward and backwards at the same time. Just spin by TPI.
Will's gonna win.
I think actually I have all the hull text from him. We're being flanked. We're being flanked.
Sure are. Weak. Broke one. Octane. Broke Octane again. Oh, both of them are broken then.
Downed him. Pathfinder's over here.
Sure is. This controller challenge sure was something else, and it definitely was a learning experience for myself. After spending about a month with this thing, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot about this controller. It's that controllers have come a very long way. They went from this to this, or this. And maybe, and even, you know, this. Or, like that controller up there, you probably can't see, but it's one of my an old scuff that I bought that broke. That's why I don't really buy scuffs anymore, because it broke very quickly. Controllers have come a long way from this design. That's one of the biggest takeaways I got from this thing. Was it an honor giving this controller another go for a month straight? It really was. Am I ever going to go back to this controller? Yes and no. No, meaning I'm not going to play any PvP games with this, because if anything, I would never recommend playing a PvP game with this controller. I would actually recommend it with, you know, racing games or platformers or any other game that isn't a PvP game. Like, in Halo, I didn't really have too much of a problem using this controller. But in games like Apex, Halo 5, Call of Duty, all those kinds of games, you need something that's like this. You need something that's like a controller like this, to where it takes care of the advanced movement. You don't need something that's really big in your hands, because there's a lot of hand moving. There's a lot of hand movements that you're going on, and like just even in my hands alone, it's huge. This controller was I feel like was a very bad controller for PvP games, but I think it is an incredible controller for any other game, like platformers again, fighting games if you really wanted to. I would never recommend this for a PvP game. Would I recommend doing the challenge? Absolutely. I think all controller players will get a learning experience from this and see where their skill really is when they take a lot of the handicaps and take the size. That's one of the biggest things for me with this controller, is the size. I love the size. I've always loved the Duke controller, and I always will. But the size sometimes got to me, especially with this. This at the end. The travel time with your fingers from the triggers to the bumpers, it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. But yeah, no, I hope you guys enjoyed the little montage here at the beginning. It was about a 10-minute montage. We're here talking after that. Yeah, the month went by so fast. But yeah, anyways, would I recommend this controller for a challenge, to challenge yourself? Absolutely. Would I recommend it for daily use? Not really. Not at all. Would I recommend it for racing games and any game that isn't a PvP game? Yeah. Pretty much, I would. And last but not least, do I think it's worth the $80 price tag? Yes and no. Well, yeah, actually, because the LED screen is a fantastic feature. The fact that you got the bumpers on the side, but these buttons also act as it. It's an actually really high quality controller. And, you know, it really shows the quality to this controller. The only thing, after a month of using it in the wear, is just the analog stick. Not even that wobbly, but it's a tad bit wobbly. It's not entirely, but it's a tad bit. But yeah, the wear of this controller, literally like I never even touched it, to be honest with you. After a month of using it, it's a pretty great controller so far. This controller is one of my favorite controllers of all time. I would highly recommend anybody picking this up just for any other game that isn't a PvP game, unless you're playing Halo. If you're playing Halo, that's an exception. So starting tomorrow or whenever the next video is, I'm going to do my first video with this controller. I've already played with it just a tad, not too much. And I will say, it feels weird using a controller like this now. And the controller cam will stay. I'm only doing this just to kind of just be face-to-face with you guys, but the controller cam will stay. And yeah, I also just recently picked up the Spectra for the Nintendo Switch, actually. I didn't even know they released this, but it's literally the Spectra, and this is possibly the best PowerA Switch Pro controller I have ever gotten. I've ever received one. For some reason, the PowerA controllers for Xbox are really good so far, but the PowerA Switch controllers are not very good, except for this one. This one so far is pretty good, but there's one on my shelf. You can see on top of where the SCUF controller is. It's a terrible controller. It's definitely one of those you're the third or second player kind of controller. So one more thing I forgot to say. This controller is worthy enough to go on the shelf. There it is. It's so big that it's one of the most noticeable controllers on the screen. That says something. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you subscribed during this journey, I do appreciate you subscribing. But now I'm going to be moving on to a different controller and arguably a better controller. And let me know if you've thought about getting this controller and if this video convinced you to get this controller. I love you guys. Have an absolutely fantastic day.